Hello and welcome to another exciting recap video with our channel Animation Rundown. Today we will be recapping the movie Capture the Flag. So without further ado, let us get started. The film opens with an animated depiction of Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin, the first Americans to step on the moon during Apollo 11. In a historic moment, they planted their national flag as a symbol of their accomplishment. The focus turns to Mike, Marty, and Amy, who were a group working together to win a water skiing contest against other children. Their goal was to seize the opposing team's flag and bring it to the endpoint to emerge victorious. Unfortunately, they were disappointed when they lost the competition. Mike's mother arrived to take him to his father's birthday celebration, who happens to be an astronaut working for NASA. While on their way home, they stopped to see Mike's grandfather, who is also a retired astronaut, but he didn't come out because he and Scott don't have a good relationship, which made Mike sad. Despite this, they went on to celebrate Scott's birthday, and Mike's mother promised that they would see his grandfather someday. During a birthday celebration at a restaurant, a group of people become interested in a TV show featuring a businessman named Carson. He argues that NASA prevented his father's dreams of visiting the moon, and claims that the footage of Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin's moon landing was actually filmed on Earth. He provides evidence for his claims and has built a rocket ship to prove them by visiting the moon and verifying if the American flag is really there. Eventually, he gains the backing of most of the people, and the moment arrives when it becomes necessary to interrupt the president. She is worried that Carson will take the credit for being the first person on the moon, and orders her team to get the police involved in stopping him. Mike is feeling down because he has realized why he and his grandfather are not close. It turns out that his grandfather had worked for NASA, but had left the family for a long time before returning. Even though Mike's mother tried to help, his father and grandfather could not fix their relationship. Mike seeks guidance from his friends, and Amy suggests that he should bring Scott and his father back together. Suddenly, Marty's father bursts into Mike's house and announces that Scott has been selected as the commander for the expedition to the moon. Excited, Mike and his friends rush to his grandfather's house with the help of their technologically advanced pet lizard Igor to speak to his grandfather. Carson reveals his true intentions to his employees, explaining that he wants to go to the moon to retrieve helium-3, a valuable resource that he plans to sell on Earth for profit. Scott's team is searching for experienced astronauts, and Mike sees this as a chance to bring his father and grandfather together. Frank is responsible for teaching Scott's team about the upcoming mission to the moon. Carson asks a journalist to disrupt Scott's training, preventing them from completing their mission. Scott's training begins well as he persuades Frank to take the children for a ride in a vehicle. However, a reporter hired by Carson ruins the ride by draining the fuel tank. Frank scolds Scott for being reckless and insists that he use the launcher to avoid danger. In the chaos of the crash, Scott hurts his leg and blames his father, worsening their already strained relationship. Carson tests a weapon containing helium-3, which results in an explosion that kills him and a scientist he coerced into working with him. Meanwhile, Mike takes his father's place on a trip to the moon with the help of his friends Amy and Marty, who train him. They managed to sneak Mike onto the spaceship but were followed by Igor and had to leave Marty behind. Marty gets caught by his dad, and Frank figures out that his grandson is inside the rocket. He rushes to stop the launch, but as a result, he got trapped inside the rocket with Amy and Mike because Carson had sabotaged their plan. While they are busy with that, Carson projects the takeoff of his rocket to the moon. Even though the police arrested the reporter helping Carson, nothing good came out of it. The police were ordered by the president to arrest Carson, but he had already launched his rocket. However, Frank and the children pursued him in an attempt to stop him. Meanwhile, the president understood Carson's true intentions and believed that Frank and his grandchildren could protect the world. Despite facing various hurdles, including sabotage by Carson and technical issues with their vehicle, they successfully landed on the moon and recorded their experience. However, they were shocked to discover that Carson's robots had already caused damage to the area and interrupted their communication with NASA on Earth. The group engages in a game of cat and mouse with Carson, managing to take the American flag from him with the assistance of Igor. However, Carson takes Frank hostage and demands the flag in exchange for his release. Upon returning to Earth, Marty is able to communicate with his friends through signals received from Igor's organs. The characters enter the villain's lair, deliver a bag, regroup with Frank, and reveal the villain's secrets to the public. Frank becomes trapped and runs out of oxygen, leading him to confess why he distanced himself from Scott. With the help of Igor, Amy, and Mike are able to rescue Frank. Frank runs back to their rocket to replace his helmet all the time when Carson is chasing Mike and Amy. They give him a taste of his own medicine by ambushing him in his base and bringing him to his doom. In the end, they plant the American flag, go back to Earth as a complete family, and Marty gets recognition for his engineering skills. That is all for today's video. If you liked it, please do not forget to click on the thumbs up button and subscribe to our channel, Animation Rundown. We will see you in the next video.